Good morning. Today we will be discussing William Blake's poem The Tyger. William Blake's The Tyger is considered to be a literary masterpiece and has been scrutinized from literal and metaphorical point of views as he revisits his preferred dilemmas of innocence versus experience. As regarding God, his creations are just beautiful and transcend the notions of good and evil. In the case with the earlier poems, the Tyger gives no visible answer except offering even more questions. As we know, this poem is from the Songs of Innocence, and Songs of Experience are one of the most important collections of William Blake's poem. It just juxtaposes human nature, comparing and contrasting innocence with corruption. The Tyger is an extension of the same theme and represents two diverse perspectives of the human world. Blake doesn't take sides but paints an opposing worldview for his readers. He also seems opposed to a threefold controlling forces of religion, despotic rule, and sexual repression. So, in a way, this poem is not a simplistic poem as it yields many interpretations. However, its strong and its resonating rhyming scheme drives the key concept in the reader's mind very efficiently. Blake slowly and gradually leads to asking some very troubling questions. The essence of this poem is where the poet asks the tiger about its creator and his traits. Therefore, each stanza poses certain questions which are vague in subject, and the poem on the whole largely questions the existence of God and its metaphysical attributes, referring to Tyger's multiple characteristics as purely a work of art. The poet wonders how the creator would have felt after completing his creation. Is he also the creator of the lamb? So, Blake engages with the idea that all living entities must reflect its creator in some or the other way. Therefore, the opening lines slowly lead to the primary objective of the poem, contemplating God in the heavens above. And the essence of the poem is that the tiger is a beautiful, enigmatic creature, yet it is lethal at the same time. This also reflects the nature of God as he contemplates that a God could be loving, just, and just as lethal when needed to be. Therefore, religion is one of the primary themes of the poem. As a result, what kind of being can be both violent and so magnificent simultaneously? He questions us. The poem explores the moral dilemma of the poet, largely concerned with the metaphysical entity, and it becomes a symbolic allegory to God in hindsight. As the poet contends that such a powerful, destructive living entity can be a creation of a purely artful God, the poet brings forward the notion of Tyger's creation in a way maybe it's accidental or haphazard. He feels that this tiger is allotted immense physical strength as it can wield its command over weaker animals. So, the allusion of lamb is that he compares the timid living animal to that of a tiger. So, God created the tiger as a dominant creature, while the lamb is simply a weakling compared to the tiger. On the whole, the tiger consists of unanswered questions. The poet leaves his readers pondering the will of the creator, his limitless power, and of his creation. To conclude, we can say that the poet ends his poem with perspectives of innocence and experience, which we know that both are a subject of great interest to him. Now we'll go through the poem and analyze, starting from stanza 1. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? So the opening verse or the opening lines refers to the tiger, imploring about its beauty and creator. As the poem leads on gradually, the poem clearly makes it a point to discuss God as an entity as opposed to the tiger. Blake uses metaphors to prove his point. The first one is burning bright, which refers to the tiger's bright yellow stripes or the fur as it roams freely in the forests by night. The central question we realize is the existence of God. So we can see that Blake in a way attacks the Christian God, and he asks whether a divine entity is capable of creating such a masterpiece with perfection in definitions and extraordinary beauty. He deems God very important, who creates such a creature, and the fearful symmetry is a nuanced trait that has dual illusions, one for the tiger and the other referring to divine deity. So it's apparent that the sublime characteristic refers to an entity extremely big and powerful, still it is a mysterious entity. As a result, the poet starts with some poetic allusions, which are open-ended for the reader to perceive or to interpret as he pleases. He slowly questions as to how would God be when he hath created such a scary creature walking freely in the jungle. In what distant deep or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes, or what wings dare he aspire, what the hand dare seize the fire? So we can see here the fascination of the poet with the tiger, which increases in the coming lines as he seems mesmerized or hypnotized with the fiery eyes of the tiger. He feels that the fire in his eyes, thine eyes mean his eyes, came from a distant heavenly body. The poet adds to this fiery image of tiger by using the metaphor of burning from the first verse, as we had seen. So the third line proves an argument that about God. The poet here points that tiger reflects its creator. On what wings dare he aspire? Means he seems to be very powerful, like the God. So the poet creates a more supernatural image using the words of hand, wings and fire relating to the divine being. These words have been reiterated from the above stanza, and the term daring is introduced, which is also seen or reverberated in the later stanza. And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when their heart begin to beat, what dead hand and what dread feet? So in this stanza, the poet seems to be discussing the physical attributes or characteristics of this beautiful creator or of the Almighty Creator, contemplating his various physical features. So here it seems that the poet is in depth trying to understand the physical attributes of God, which could also be an allegory to the tiger's characteristics. Thank you.